Hello, this is Joshua for Frost Dragon Designs, and today I'd like to talk to you about my D20 Skunk hard enamel pin. Now let's get into the design. So the D20 Skunk here is kind of an expansion to my Trash Rolls pin series. I had created a number of Trash Rolls animal pins. These are, trashy animals with D20s, and they did relatively well. I had a possum that was probably the most popular, and then I had a raccoon, and a crow/raven as well. I also expanded the collection and had some animals that were with treasures instead of trash, and then I had some ones that were more with nature or natural surroundings. But the skunk here specifically was an expansion of the Trash Rolls concept. I released it sometime in 2023, and it sells reasonably well, but it's never been nearly as popular as those original 3 Trash Rolls pins. I'm really not sure whether that's because it was kind of late to the design party or because skunks just aren't that popular. I just generally find it interesting though because I think the composition for this pin is probably stronger than any of those other 3. But anyway, the idea itself was obviously going to be an animal with a D20. In this case, it's a trash animal, the skunk. And so I wanted the set pieces around it to be more trashy things. Now, I had already done a metal trash can with the raccoon, and I didn't want to repeat that, but I have used the big plastic trash cans for a number of years, and I thought that would be a good place to start. So I put a big giant trash can in the background, and its lid, and then I started thinking, well, what can I do on this that's kind of stinky or smelly like a skunk? And I got the idea, okay, eggs. Like, if you've got broken eggs that were being thrown out, I'm imagining these are kind of stinky eggs. And then I added a sock draped over the trash can lid. I thought that was kind of funny. And so, those 2 things alone are just pretty stinky. And visually, they filled the scene pretty well. So then I turned my attention to the skunk itself. Now, I've never drawn a skunk before, and I, Googled some images, and it matched up with what I had in my head pretty well, but it was helpful just to see, relative shape and size of the head and that sort of thing. So, I worked with designing the skunk into the image, but he felt like he was just way too big compared to the trash can, so I decided that I was going to have to shrink him down and put him up like on top of the D20 instead of like on the ground leaning up against it. It just looked too big overall. So I wanted him to be smaller and a little more compact in the design, but that kind of opened up a really big space. The composition no longer felt balanced. So what I ended up doing was moving the trash can behind him to backfill that space, which then created another space on the right-hand side. And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but at some point I came up with the idea of, well, let's have a little bit of a juxtaposition here. Like, everything is stinky, but the animal's still kind of cute. So I thought, well, maybe we should add something beautiful to this pin design. And that's where the idea for the roses came in. And that also is kind of just an interesting, contrast to the stinkiness of everything else. The roses are actually quite a sweet smell. And so by the time I finished this particular pin design, I was really, really happy with the overall design and the composition. I felt it felt really balanced, and I felt like there's some meaning behind it. And I hope that you enjoy this pin design, and I hope you enjoyed watching me create it. And if you did, please go ahead, like, and subscribe. I try to have a new video that I put out once a week, and I'd love to have you along for the next one. So thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.